Should Nicolas Jackson be the main striker next season? Let's discuss. Considering this is his first season after coming from Villarreal, he's likely to get another chance at Chelsea next season. He has a return of 10 goals for Chelsea and has shown a lot of promise. He has a lot of good attributes going for him: strength, pace, physique, and a good work rate. However, his lack of consistency in scoring goals has been a letdown for Chelsea in the present 2023-24 season. A lot of fans would have expected Pochettino to get more out of him, as that is what good managers do. Under Unai Emery, Jackson looked very good in Spain. In England, he has struggled to appear nothing more than ordinary. However, at 22, he's still very young. Many fans would argue that he was never signed as a striker, as he's more of a player who enjoys playing off of a striker. In pre-season, Nkunku appeared to be Chelsea's number 9, and then he got injured before the season started. They performed very well together, and it looks very promising. However, it is possible to argue that Nkunku is not necessarily a number 9. Jackson is a young player and not naturally a striker. He has played as a winger until last season at Villarreal, and you can tell with his movement in the box, therefore a lack of goal-scoring instinct at times. As a result, it is best to say that Nicolas Jackson must not lead the line in attack, but can be facilitated alongside an all-round dead striker. Who is that ideal option? That's a debate for another day. He's fine as a young prospect in a backup or secondary role. A lot of good characteristics are there. What he needs is an environment where he's free to make and learn from mistakes. Nicolas Jackson is a player that obviously does play a lot of opinions. I'm sure that the whole situation with the FA Cup semi-final against Manchester City does not make the narrative better for him as well. But I have to say once more that I believe Nicolas Jackson will make it at Chelsea. I still believe he can. However, I don't think he is that all-rounded striker, and that is fair to say about him because he's not been that striker. Only up until last season at Villarreal did he have that responsibility of being that striker. He was always that player as a wide forward, and unfortunately after the injuries and after the circumstances that would have happened at Villarreal, he would have been forced to play as a striker. The same can be said for Chelsea. I'm sure the view would have been that Nkunku would have been that look towards player, that player that they look towards, and that player that you'd expect to be getting those goals for you, adding to his tally, increasing the tally that we have in a player that is older, a more experienced player in terms of age than the average age of the players that we have otherwise. So Nicolas Jackson should not be the one that leads the line. He must not lead the line because he's not that player. He still needs to get that environment and that opportunity to learn from his mistakes and make mistakes, because that's the only way that he can improve, by recognizing that he needs to sharpen up. And I'm hoping that the Man City dilemma, the whole Man City issue of him missing opportunities or his opportunities being saved by Ortega for Manchester City in the FA Cup semi-finals, it will give him that wake-up call that he needs to sharpen up. He needs to be more decisive when it comes on to trying to convert shots. Yes, he would have done a very wonderful takedown goal against Everton and it's a half volley past Pickford. But clearly he's not going to be consistent because he's still young. He's being given that demand of being that player that you look towards scoring, goals, 20 goals, or whatever. See, he has not had a horrible season. He's been impactful. He has been an integral part in the build-up in a lot of the goals that we would have scored, especially Cole Palmer's goal against Everton prior. But he's definitely not that guy that you should be expecting to be getting you those 20 goals a season. He's not an all-rounded natural striker. And unfortunate as it is, it's fair to say that he's had a poor season in terms of, being able to convert opportunities that were at his feet. But I don't think that fans should be as hard on him about, the whole situation with the FA Cup semi-final match against Manchester City, because he's still a young player, and I know people would say that he's a young player and whatever. Look at Cole Palmer and among other players who are taking the league by storm, scoring a lot of goals and doing all of that. But the demand of the player prior was not like that. And people say Cole Palmer role at Manchester City before joining Chelsea was not demanding. He barely had a responsibility, but Cole Palmer had to step up. because he knew that he had a point to prove. Nicolas Jackson's narrative is different. He's not a case where he was signed and he knows he has a point to prove because he was signed for a fee. He left our club controversially. It wasn't a situation that, a lot of fans were hoping to see him continue there, and he turned his back on them, as some Manchester City fans have stated about Cole Palmer. But Nicolas Jackson, as I said before, should not lead the line, and perhaps we should sign a striker who is more clinical.